on this week's episode of RamZ's Hoosier Pond.
Yeah, what'd you bring in today?
Well, I have a large collection of items that belong to Purdue coach Gene Cady.
Oh, okay.
And they were from his actual estate.
Okay. What kind of price were you hoping for it?
Well, for the whole collection, I was hoping $400.
$400?
That's something I was hoping.
Is it something that you would consider, like, after we get everything sorted out, I also, along with these 1 ounce ones, there's also a 10-ounce bar of silver.
Okay, Randy, now that we have all these sorted out, so how do you determine a value?
Part of it is based upon...
Thanks for watching the show. I'm Dan McKay, and let's meet Randy and Melanie RamZ. Hi there.
Hi.
And we've known each other for years. We met a bunch of years ago when you were doing your grand opening for your store.
This is Randy RamZ, and this is his pawn store. He works here with his wife Melanie, sons Corey and Chad, and daughter Amanda. Many items here have a unique story. And after 25 years in the business, he's learned that you never know what's coming through the door next. This is RamZ's Hoosier Pond.
Hey, Dad, looks like we got a colonial note in.
Yeah, it's really an interesting type of thing because we don't get that many of them. We get a lot of paper money from late 1800s, early 1900s, but to get something from the 1700s does not often come in. Several years ago, I got one in that was torn in half, and it was put together with a straight pin, and it was signed by Benjamin Franklin.
Wow.
And it said, if you attempt to reproduce this note, your head would be lopped off. So this one here is from 1778, and I thought it was interesting, the comments that were made. This one was just beautifully framed, and it's designed so that you can see the front and the back of the bill, but it says colonial currency is issued during the Revolutionary War. The early paper money of America has the unique distinction of being the first authorized paper money issued by any government in the Western world. With the beginning of the American Revolution, each state considers itself free of all previous restraints in the issuance of paper money. It says the war caused the small amount of gold and silver coins to disappear from general circulation, and then paper money was all that was being utilized. So the family that brought this in said that this particular one was actually printed by Benjamin Franklin on his printing press. But they bought these several years ago more as an investment, and then has decided to trade it in for silver coins, thinking that silver and gold may go up. But these others are also receipts that were done in 1791. Again, very interesting materials to receive and get in, and we just received it. It's something, if we have people who are interested in this type of merchandise, feel free to stop in. We have other antique documents and papers I'm sure that they would be interested in seeing.
I always thought it's pretty neat when we get pieces of history like this in.
Yep, very definitely. I enjoy it. To me, it's exciting to see it, but to see it in this quality, as well as being framed so nicely. This one here is also designed where you can see the back of the bill through the glass back on it. So very nicely done.
Yeah, I'm Josh, and I have a collection of Coach Gene Cady's personal items and that I bought off his auctioneer, and I'm hoping to sell them today for $400, and we'll see.
Hello there.
Well, hello.
Hi, I'm Randy. I've seen you around here before.
I'm Josh.
Josh?
Hi. Hello.
What what'd you bring in today?
Well, I have a large collection of items that belong to Purdue coach Gene Cady.
Oh, okay.
And they were from his actual estate. And I have his actual trophy here that was given to him by the mayor after he won the championship.
It was like 1994.
Yep. Yeah. I have certificates from when he was guest speaker at various events from the 60s.
Okay.
This was his board he signed that he used when he was coach for the Michael Jordan team, and he's handwritten a basketball play in.
Oh, that's neat.
And inside it tells he was the coach and more information about him.
Well, it looks like you have a real treasure here.
Yes, this was the board he used in the NCAA Final Four. And it's all in here, the information, and he signed that as well.
Okay.
And then I have another board from the 1980s. That's of Gene.
And that looks like he's signed this one
Yes,
also?
he signed that, but it has his business card, which makes that rare.
Okay.
Here's his Sports Achievement Award booklet when he was won the Tom Brady Achievement.
Yeah, okay, and he signed this one as well.
Yes, and here's his World Series book from a game that he signed from baseball that it was in his possession.
It looks like he's even marked.
Notated it when he was at the game. And then here's a signed photo of him and of Gene Cady when he was quite younger.
Yeah.
More hair there.
Yeah, more hair, you can tell. And here's the one that was given to him by Chevy, a coach's board.
The Chevy dealership.
I believe so, probably.
Couple of Chevrolet.
Yeah. And this is one that he used at the Detroit Pistons game that he signed, a coach's board. And this is a 1967, very early for Gene Cady, and it's a certificate of appreciation that belonged to him. And this is what makes the collection really rare and unique. This is his game stat and playbook that he's actually hand-signed, and he's wrote out all in hand. And this is from the 1982 and 1983 season. This is his whole thoughts and plans for that year. And if you look, it's all handwritten and notated in Gene Cady's hand.
That's pretty neat.
And I got all this off the auctioneer of the Gene Cady estate.
Very good.
So this is all good stuff.
Very neat. We happen to be in southern Indiana at a large flea market area, and we bought 5 wristwatches that were all presentation watches to Coach Cady, and he had signed every one of the boxes. So that was pretty neat. We have a huge collection of sports-related items along with Purdue-related, but
Yeah,
this is a nice grouping.
Yeah, we get quite a few Purdue-related and student-related items in from time to time.
Is this something you're thinking about selling or getting a loan on, or what are you thinking about?
Well, if I could get a fair price, I'd sell it today.
Okay. What kind of price were you hoping for?
Well, for the whole collection, I was hoping $400.
$400?
That's something I was hoping.
Well, it doesn't sound unreasonable at all. I guess part of the problem is we have quite a bit of Purdue-related collectibles, but there are people that like this type of thing.
And he all owned it all.
Right, he owned and carried a lot of this to the various events that he went to.
Yeah, his whole history from that time period.
Is it something that you would consider like 200 on?
I really would be thinking 225 would be more.
225? What do you think?
I know we got a lot of people coming in asking about Purdue-related items as well as people who collect sports items, so it might be good range.
I think I'd take a chance on it because almost every one of them has his hand autograph, as well as it was something that he carried for various games and events that he went in his when he was coaching. So this is a very good grouping. It's a shame that he's not still in the coaching area here for us, but this might just meet somebody's interests. So we'll do that.
Okay.
If that's something you want to accept,
okay, well, I'll sell it for that then.
Okay, I'll have Chad do a paid out for you.
Right over here.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
This is RamZ's Emporium.
Would you like to be on an upcoming episode of RamZ's Hoosier Pond?
Our goal is to showcase unique and collectible treasures from the Lafayette area.
It could be an item that you want to sell, trade, or get a loan on.
So bring your item to RamZ's Emporium anytime during regular store hours.
If your item is chosen, you'll be contacted for a later taping.
Meet us at RamZ's Emporium.
205 Farraby Drive North.
You never know what's coming through the door next.
You never know what's going to come into RamZ's. On a weekly basis, we have just a quantity of jewelry. Jazz, it's good to have you. She's
Glad
one of
to be
our
with
employees, and she was involved in helping to buy some of these, but we just laid out a few items that we picked up in recent days. For instance, Jasmine was involved in purchasing. This came in from two separate people, but what it is, it's items in silver and turquoise and gold-plated that people would use to make other jewelry out of it. And you can make earrings, you can make necklaces, they had chains. This is just two purchases that we had this week. What we typically do if someone brings in, we've had anywhere from trunks full to boxes, just all kinds of quantities. We'll go through and see what is in the group. And we typically will want to pull out anything that's gold. And even among the gold items, we'll want to pull out the ones that are 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat, and platinum. We'll sort those off to the side. And then we'll look for anything that's sterling silver, as you did on some of these. And then after we have gone through that, then we'll pick through anything that is what we would consider better costume jewelry. And we do buy a lot of mixture costume jewelry. Here's all kinds of cufflinks. There's faux necklaces of pearls. Some of these are real freshwater pearls, but not real expensive. And we'll box those up, and what we'll do after we pulled out all the gold and all the silver jewelry and all the what we consider better costume, we'll say, if you want to sell the rest of this, we'll buy it, because we have customers who come in and they'll root through it and they'll buy individual pieces, or we have dealers that will buy a whole box from us. And there are some people that buy it to take it all apart to make other jewelry. But most of this here we've determined is just average costume. Now over here, we've pulled out what we would consider a little better pieces. These are actually made out of stone. This here is made out of a pink quartz, but it has gold balls in the middle of it. These are actually real pearls. We have another piece here that is carved out of walrus tusk, but it's carved in the shape of walrus. So we'll have what we consider a little better quality costume. Here is a chain that's gold plated, but it's a pocket watch chain from the 1800s, and the lady would put it around her neck, put her pocket watch on it, and this little slide. They have all different kinds of slides, and there's some people that collect just these slides, and they'll make bracelets out of those. But so we separate that, and then some of the better pieces that you see in some of these trays. We have a necklace here that's solid 10 karat gold with amethyst in it. You'll see a number of different cameos. These are all carved out of various shells, mostly conch shells. So most of them have bezels. This one does not, but the ones that do are actually solid gold. Some are 14, some are 18 karat gold. So we separate those out. Some other things that we just picked up recently is diamond jewelry. For instance, we have a ring here that has a 3/4 carat marquee that's interestingly set. But sometimes we'll actually take the diamonds out and sell them separately. But when we're purchasing them, we'll again separate them out. We'll measure what the diamond size is. We'll determine what carat of gold it is. We'll weigh it up. And we also take into consideration whether the person wants to actually sell it or whether they actually want to get a loan on it so they can get it back. And in some situations, the person actually wants to upgrade. They want to trade it for a bigger diamond, or they want to trade it for a different design because they're just tired of wearing the same old piece. For instance, these are carved amethysts, and then they're set with 14 karat gold, so they dangle and will swing. But those are very attractive that came in. We also got a pair of clip earrings. These here have about a half carat in each, so about a carat total weight. But when we purchase these, we'll determine what carat of gold it is, how many carats of diamonds, and weigh it up and measure and make an offer based on that. We just, every day get something unusual. This was something very unusual that just came in. It's a moonstone that has the head of the moon carved into it.
I didn't even see you
So
get that one in.
It's actually a face. I don't know if you can see that on TV or not, but very attractive. And these are emeralds here. So just a variety of things come in on a regular basis. Some of the items we end up having to just scrap out. We pull the stones out, ship the gold off. Some items we'll try to refurbish and sell to the public as they have interest in them. So as people bring in collections, and we invite you to bring what you have. Some have some very interesting antique jewelry. Some have just fairly common costume jewelry, and others have just simply scrap gold jewelry that has either chains that have been broken or a class ring that they no longer want, or items that they want to upgrade.
This is Randy RamZ, and this is RamZ's Emporium. He works here with his sons, Corey and Chad. You never know what's coming through the door next.
Brand new lever action Henry Big Boy 44 Magnum.
Make your worries disappear with a magic trick.
An 1864 Civil War document with Abraham Lincoln's name on it.
If you're looking for one-of-a-kind items, go to RamZ's on North Farabee Drive, Lafayette.
Here are this week's jewelry care tips.
Remember to remove your jewelry and put it in a safe place before gardening, heavy lifting, or manual labor so you don't bend or break your shank or prongs.
It's always best to remove your jewelry and put it in a safe place before washing dishes. Water makes your rings loose and they can fall off in the dishwater, possibly going down the drain. Also, soap suds, grease, hand lotion, hairspray, or cookie dough build up around your stones and then it dissolves in the water. This can cause stones to become loose and possibly fall out. While a mild dish soap may seem to brighten your rings while you're washing dishes, the grease and food in your dishwater will make rings dirty and dull.
Have your chain inspected if you stretch it, because stretching it will weaken the links, causing it to break. Bring it to RamZ's for repairs.
Thanks for watching the show. I'm Dan McKay, and let's meet Randy and Melanie RamZ. Hi there.
Hi.
And we've known each other for years. We met a bunch of years ago when you were doing your grand opening for your store.
That's right. You really helped us with radio then, and that was a point that we didn't know that we could afford to do television at that point. But you were great. We loved your voice and the way that you handled our commercials. We appreciated you.
Yeah, I've been in the market for about 20 years, and whether I see you or whether I hear about you, you guys have just really expanded and done so well. Congratulations, and congratulations on your show.
Thank you very much.
When I was a little boy, my mother used to ask me, what are you going to be when you grow up, Danny? And I'd go, well, maybe a fireman or police officer. Randy, how did that work for you? When your mother said, little Randy, what do you want to be? Did you go, well, I want to be a pawnbroker?
I don't think I even had that word in my vocabulary, but as I grew up, I just loved going to the woods, and I would spend the whole day there. I can remember getting my little backpack and my skillet and my potatoes, and we, along with my brothers and friends, we'd go to the woods, but I always came back with feathers and rocks and teeth. I can remember avidly watching Daniel Boone on TV, and he had this beautiful tooth necklace, and over a period of several months I found enough skulls that I pulled the eye teeth out and drilled them with my little pocket knife and made this nice necklace that I was very, very happy with.
What's your background? Where did you go to school?
Well, my family originally was from West Virginia, but a lot of my dad and his brothers moved up into Youngstown, Ohio for jobs. So I pretty much grew up in Youngstown, Ohio.
Melanie, you're the wife and business owner as well. How did this all start for you?
Well, it started when I met him in college. He was going to college at Fort Wayne Bible College, and I remember standing up and turning around and looking at that man and saying, wow, I love him already. And we dated and we got married and had 3 children, and some of them were here in the United States, one was, and the other 2 were overseas where we were missionaries.
Was the initial attraction the Daniel Boone necklace that he wore?
Oh, absolutely. No, it was actually his beautiful blue eyes and his swirly hair.
Fantastic. Well, I know this show's going to be a lot of fun for you. How has it been collecting things and looking for unusual things? What's the involvement of that?
as I look back, even when I went to college, I started going from stones and feathers to coins. And then as we were missionaries in France, I was the team leader, so one of my responsibility was to go to a number of auctions and buy furniture for all of our team. And I remember buying some beautiful antique furniture that we attempted to bring back, and we were unable to. But over the years, I was always drawn to antique furniture, and then I started collecting coins. I never had much money to work with, but I would buy a group of coins, sell some, keep a little bit, and over a period of years, I was able to accumulate enough coins that when we ended up making the major transition in our lives from in the ministry to having a job, I had enough money for a good down payment on a house. So all of that just continued to grow. And then when we decided to open up our own business, the business partner that I had, he was willing to put some money in, and I put product in. So at that point, I had firearms, and I had antiques, and I had coins, and I had jewelry. So all of this stuff that I had accumulated then became our beginning for our new business.
And you've mostly been a collector, but from what I understand, you were really one of the first people ever to be a pawnbroker and help people that needed a personal loan. What's the story of that?
Well, we had been in business for a couple of years. We were buying and selling, and as we talked with people, we had people coming in with items, and they would say, well, we really don't want to sell this. Is there any way that we can get a loan on it? And there were no loan or pawn shops in Lafayette at the time. So we decided to look into it, and then we got our license, and then we were able to meet that need where a person then could bring it in. And when we first started in the state of Indiana, it was not a real profitable situation, but we felt like it was something that we could meet needs with.
Well, and probably from your ministry experience, I mean, it was another way for you to give a helping hand.
Right. There were just so many things that our hearts would go out for people. I remember this young couple, they would come in with an item, and it wasn't even something that we wanted to consider. And finally, after a number of times I'm coming in on a given day, I said, well, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Well, we're needing to get some milk for our child. So I went back in our refrigerator, and my goldsmith had a gallon of milk in there, and I took the gallon of milk out, and I said, here, if that's what you need. So over the years, we've tried to even go beyond the pawning situation when people then were strapped and couldn't afford to get the item back, to try to work things through where they then could get it back.
All right, Ingrid, we'll be right
back. This is Randy RamZ, and this is RamZ's Emporium. He works here with his wife Melanie and his daughter Amanda. You never know what's coming through the door next.
Platinum, diamond, and sapphire brooch, 1 3/4 carat center diamond.
A Dan Patch harness racing pocket watch.
A brand new Coach handbag in leather and coated canvas.
If you're looking for one-of-a-kind items, go to RamZ's on North Fairby Drive in Lafayette.
Let's skip to the show. When did you get the feeling we're going to do a show like this? Because it is a big deal across the country, and locally here there's a lot of interesting items. How did it come about?
Well, I think part of it, I'll let my wife start with, because she's been kind of the push for that. But
Melanie, tell us about it.
Well, this all started because a couple of years ago, I would watch him in our family room, and he would watch all the TV shows, the pawn shows, the storage wars, the restoration shows, all of those shows, and he'd say things like, we have one of those at our store. Or he was talking about a restoration barber chair, and he said, our barber chair looks almost exactly like that, except it's in a lot better condition. Or he would say, we just had a customer bring one of those in yesterday.
Great.
And I hear those stories over and over again, and I began to sit and ponder that, and I'm thinking, this is ridiculous, because everybody's watching all these other shows when we've got those things here in Lafayette. Why are we not promoting Lafayette?
Absolutely.
And so then I decided that we should talk about it a little bit. Well, I didn't get too much encouragement that direction, but I kept telling people we need to do this. And then our customers sort of got on board. You should have your own show. And so we sat down with TV 18 and we started talking, and we said, what can we do? And I wanted to have it so that we had all the people that had stores that were similar to ours, or anybody that would have unusual, oddball things that came into their places.
Right.
I wanted TV18 to produce that. I was very naive, didn't know anything about the business, and I was told, well, that won't work. You can do it. And so I said, okay, how does that happen? Well, you have to produce it and pay for it yourself. I said, okay, how much is that going to cost? And I got really freaked out by the price, but we just kept talking, and between Mark Elliott, who is the general manager at TV18, and us, and Jay Patchkey went with us, and he with me, and we came up with a plan. That was a year ago.
Really?
Yes, a little over a year ago, because Mark said, can you be ready to air this in May or April? I said, I don't think so. And so we sat and thought about it more, and the customers kept saying, you need to do your own show. So our producer sat down with us, and we made a plan when we're going to promote it, when we're going to start it and all that. And that's where we are with RamZ's Hoosier Pawn.
What are you looking for? What do you want to see the greater Lafayette community bring in? What is it that would really work?
I think one of the comments that what my wife made is we want to focus in on Lafayette. Part of the reason for using RamZ's Hoosier Pond, the Hoosier idea, is Indiana. Right. One of the thoughts that I had was kind of looking at the world and then focusing from the world to the United States, and then to Indiana, then to Lafayette, and then to RamZ's Emporium. So it's not just a focusing on RamZ's, but it's a focusing in on Lafayette and what Lafayette is bringing to us. One of our first programs, we had a gentleman come in with two medals that he had bought a couple years ago at an auction, and they were presentation medals from the 1940s and 50s given by Purdue University, and he bought them for $25 a piece, and we gave him $3,000.
Fantastic.
It was just, and we've had, in the last few weeks, we've had Native American items coming in, hundreds of items of Abraham Lincoln related things. We had someone bring in a large group of Thomas Kincaid paintings. Just every day something new is coming in.
Everybody's got a little something that they want to sell or see what the value is. How do our viewers that want to participate in this, when or how do they come to you to be involved with the show to find out if they have something of value?
Well, obviously, they can come anytime to sell. Right. We're open 9:30 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and we're buying, selling, giving loans, and trading as well. We also, some of those unique things, we're earmarking and asking the customers, would you want to consider being on our program? And we'll take their information if they're willing to, and if they don't, they can just go ahead and sell it or trade it or pawn it or whatever.
Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you people. I've seen you several times over the years, but it's just nice to sit down and learn more about you and let our viewers know as well. And best of luck with the show, and hopefully see you again.
Thank you very much.